Hello everyone, my name is Jonah Bales. Today I'm going to be talking about my family, the significance of my family, and the activities we like to do together. Growing up, family's always been taught to me, very important to me. It's always been a huge aspect of my life, and I've always just really relied on my family. So choosing a topic for this speech was very easy for me because I knew I could write about my family for a long time and know everything really well about them. To start my speech off, I'm going to be talking about who my family members are. The first family member is my mom, Pam Bales. She's going to be turning 52 this upcoming week. She's the Associate Dean of Nursing at Central Community College in Grand Island. She's currently going back to Bryan University to receive her doctorate in nursing education. And she grew up in Burwell, Nebraska. The second person I'm going to talk about is my father, Mark Bales. He's 45 years old. He's a clinical field rep for Boston Scientific. He drives around the state helping deliver pacemakers and saving lives every day. He grew up in McCook, Nebraska. The final person I'm going to talk about is my brother, Jacoby Bales. Everyone calls him Kobe Bales. He is a 16-year-old. He's a junior at Grand Island Central Catholic High School, and he does basketball, golf, tennis, musical, and show choir. So now that you know who my family members are, I'm going to start talking about some attributes that I share with them. Some attributes that I share with my mom. A lot of people say that we are very similar looking. We have very similar facial structures. People can always tell me that they know that she is my mom. They go back to Burwell. Everyone says that. They know that I'm Pam's son. I also like to think that she's going back to get her doctorate, and she teaches at CCC. I think she's very intelligent. So I feel like I get some of my intelligence from her. I work very hard in school, so I think some of that's from her. And then growing up, she always played sports. I feel like I got some of my competitive edge from her. Now, some similarities between my dad. So my mom's 5'10", and my dad's 5'8", and I'm 5'7". So I feel like I got my height from my dad, and that's probably one of the biggest things I got from him. I'd also like to say he's a very hardworking man. He always worked super hard to grow up his entire life. So I always been told I work very hard. So I feel like I got some of that hardworkingness from him. And he also likes to claim that we are the two strongest people in the world, so I think I got some of my strength from him. And I'm going to talk about some similarities between me and my brother. Like my mom, everyone says that me and my brother look very similar. They can tell that we are brothers. We're both very competitive in sports. We all just love doing sports together, hanging out together, watching TV, watching YouTube. And we also have a similar sense of comedy. We always laugh at the same jokes. We always make jokes to each other. We're very similar in that aspect. And now that you know who my family members are, and some attributes I share between them, talk about some of the things we like to do together. My family and I have been on a lot of vacations together. We've been to Disney World 5 times, Disneyland, 2 cruises, South Carolina, Chicago, New York, and Puerto Rico. And we just always like hanging out together, doing fun stuff there. We always go to a sporting event or the beach, or our favorite thing to do on vacation would be go to the beach or going to the rides at Disney World. And now, another thing our family very likes to do is sports. As I mentioned earlier, my mom played sports in high school. My brother and I played sports together. My dad was a state champion wrestler in high school. So I feel like sports has always been a big part of our lives. Every time I'm on vacation, we go to a baseball game or a basketball game, whatever season it's in. We just always try to have at least one thing of sports when we go on vacation at all time. And the final thing we like to do in Nebraska is go to the rodeo every July. In Burwell, they hosted the Nebraska's big rodeo, and we always like to go and attend it. It's one of our favorite activities to do as a family together. Now that you know who my family members are, what we like to do together, some attributes that I share with them. I just wanted you to know that family obviously has been a very important part of my life for a long time. Even when I was in Kearney, 45 minutes away from them this last year, I feel like I knew a lot about them. They knew a lot about me. We always stay connected. And I just think family's always been a very important part of my life, and that's why I chose to write this speech. Thank you.
Let's go. That was a good one. That was excellent. Great job.